Hi and welcome to the Wilson Chala's YouTube channel. We are dedicated to preserving and sharing Zambia's rich history through topics like culture, politics, finance, and education. From traditional ceremonies to trending stories, parliament proceedings, and everyday voices, we bridge Zambia's past with its future. Join us in building a timeless digital archive. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and now let us explore the story you've been waiting
leaving
for.
a nation since the passing of Michael Sachs, the former president of Zambia.
Here is what happened.
In honor of this remarkable event.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your trusted source for balanced commentary, analysis, documentaries and latest development from Zambia and beyond. In today's video, we'll carefully examine today's topic by separating the facts from opinions, providing context and helping you understand why this story matters. I encourage you to watch until the end because the last section always contains the most important concept that you need to watch. Now let's start the video.
Good evening. It's not an easy day. It's not an easy day for me to go live. No, it's not an easy day for me to go live to start with. And I know some people may have their own opinions, but I want to start by sincerely offering my condolences to the family of Mutotwe Kafwaya. To the family of Mutotwe Kafwaya. It's, this is not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. I knew Mutotwe Kafwaya myself. He was a friend. And we spoke extensively. And whilst these others, including Abena Brian, I was not even talking to them when I was out. Mutotwe Kafwaya, at least we used to communicate. I was even showing my daughter the last text message we exchanged with Mutotwe Kafwaya. So I'm saddened. I'm really saddened about the death of Mutotwe Kafwaya. I'm very sad. And yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. However, I need to walk through some of these issues. I know some people are saying when you say however, then you have whatever. I am saddened Mutotwe Kafwaya was a friend. Period. And I'm saddened by his death. But we need to look at some of the incidences that were there before the elections, during the elections, and where we are. I will say, please excuse me for trying to be objective and reasonable. I'm not watering down the death of Mutotwe Kafwaya, no. And I'm not actually talking about the death of Mutotwe Kafwaya. That is not why I'm here. I'm not here to interrogate the death of Mutotwe Kafwaya. I am ending by simply offering my condolences in as far as Mutotwe Kafwaya is concerned. But when I want to walk through some of the events that happened before the elections, during the elections, and where we are today. And like some of you have been saying, stop talking. Why are you talking? Stop talking. Sometimes it's good to keep quiet. It's true. I have actually wanted to keep quiet. Sound. Some people are saying you can't hear me. Some people are saying you can't hear me. Anyway, let me project my voice. I'll try to project my voice. So I want to walk through some of the incidences, statements which were made before the elections, during the elections, and after the elections up to where we are today. And why am I doing this? Why am I compelled? Why do I feel compelled to talk about some of these issues? I feel compelled because there is a barrage of disinformation, misinformation, and deliberate slander, deliberate malevolence against our country, against our leaders. And I think it would not be wise of me to keep quiet when others are talking. Even right now where I am, there are people who are talking right now. Go on Mwamba's page. Mwamba is not sleeping. Emmanuel Mwamba is not sleeping. Emmanuel Mwamba is talking throughout. He is inviting people to talk throughout. JJ Banda is talking throughout, non-stop. Lilian Mutambo is talking throughout, non-stop. Beverly is also talking, Mwebenati Chair. She's talking throughout. And many others, they are talking, fueling hunger, disseminating lies, falsehood, disseminating hate speech, being malicious to so many people. And yet, some of you are asking me to keep quiet. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? When all these others are talking, and they are lying, they are lying, they are lying, they are lying. They are lying big time. And I should keep quiet? I should keep quiet? That if I talk, I will appear as if I don't care for my brother who has passed on? No. Don't corrupt us emotionally. Don't corrupt us using emotions. Don't corrupt us using emotions. I totally, like I've said, I will repeat, I sympathize. I feel very bad for the death of Mutotwe Kafwaya. But that should not be an excuse for people to furnish lies, falsehood, to continue propagating hate speech. No, that's not an excuse. And so the rest of us, we should keep quiet? So I'm sorry. I have to give you my point of view. My point of view. First of all, I'll tell you that there is so much hatred. You people disagreed with Hakainde Hichilema when once he said that, you know, there is so much hatred against me that you can even touch it. You refuted. You refuted. But if you look at all the narrative that is going around, the biggest issue is about Hakainde Hichilema, Hakainde Hichilema, Hakainde Hichilema, Hakainde Hichilema, Hakainde Hichilema. It's all about Hakainde Hichilema. It's all about Hakainde Hichilema, Hakainde Hichilema, Hakainde Hichilema, Hakainde Hichilema. And even whatever has happened, read my lips, whatever has happened is as a result of the hatred that you have against Hakainde Hichilema. The hatred that you have against Hakainde Hichilema. You stopped thinking. People stopped thinking. People became careless because of the hatred that they harbor. They stopped thinking. They started just doing things carelessly. They started talking carelessly. There is so much hatred against one man. One man. And I'm not saying this to please President Hakainde Hichilema. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to say things as they are. People were upset at 2021 for losing elections to President Hakainde Hichilema. And they could not stomach it. As much as President Hakainde Hichilema was trying to do something positive, something good, to unite the country, they were just people that could not just take it. That they refused to see even any little thing, any positive thing in him, they refused it. This hatred starts at 2021. They never expected Hakainde Hichilema to win that election. He won that election, and they have been bitter. Hakainde Hichilema has been trying to unite the country, to bring some people close, and they have been rejecting it.
So if you
I don't make statements from without. What is one significant
like and share with
action that President Hakainde Hichilema did after 2021 election to unite the country? Hakainde Hichilema refused to go against the PF.
And
He refused to go against the PF. He refused to go against President Edgar Lungu. You can say whatever you want. Hakainde Hichilema refused to go against Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And this is not just a mere statement. It is a fact. It is a fact that if Hakainde Hichilema wanted to go against Edgar Chagwa Lungu, Edgar Chagwa Lungu had more cases, serious cases, than what Arabi had. Arabi had no cases. Apart from the issue of that fuel issue, the Nigerian fuel. That's it. That's it. But Edgar Lungu had a number of cases which the state would have followed him for. But Hakainde Hichilema refused. And he just refused. He was talking about some of these cases over and over, but he never acted to pick Edgar Chagwa Lungu. One significant case is the issue of Joe Malanji. Joe Malanji is in jail today. Joe Malanji, they sent money to Turkey. From Turkey, they went, collected that money and brought it in Zambia using a presidential jet. No matter how much you love Edgar Lungu, no matter how much you love Edgar Lungu, no matter what you may say, it is a stubborn fact that Joe Malanji went and took that money, brought it into Zambia using a presidential jet. It is a no-brainer that definitely Edgar Chagwa Lungu knew about that. If HH wanted, he would have gone in for him. If Joe Malanji is in jail, who used the presidential jet, why didn't Edgar Lungu also go in? He would have gone in. I can go on to cite other cases. Faith Musonda case. Vehicles, remember those vehicles? The Challenger, that Challenger, there are a number of cases. There are a number of cases. If HH wanted, he would have gone for President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. But he didn't. Because he was trying to unite the country. In terms of appointments, we saw a number of people being appointed from different regions. Being appointed. Cadres wanted to revenge amongst each other, whatever. All those Hakainde Hichilema refused. But to some people, no, that was not okay. It was not okay. It was not good enough. Don't even talk about the policies that he brought. They have refused to look at that. Edgar Lungu dies. They refuse to bury. They refuse to bury because of what? Because of HH. Edgar Lungu is not buried today. He's not buried. 1 year, how many months? Kaya, and then 3 months. He's not buried. Why is he not buried? Because of HH. They don't want HH. Up to today, he's not buried. Edgar Lungu is not buried. Up to today. And all because they don't want HH in State House. They were saying, no, the state has taken us to court, so we can't bury. It is because of the state. They have won the case. They have won the case. They are not talking about burial. No, they are not. They are not talking about burial. And even those who, I am saying this, I want people to follow me well. Even those foreign interests, because I know they are foreign interests, even those who are trying to protect some of these people, I want you to listen to me. I want you to listen to me and listen to me good. Because there is a trend that is coming up, like there is a crackdown. There is no crackdown. No, there is no crackdown. There is no crackdown. People are not being followed because they are political heavyweights. No. People are not running out of this country because they are political heavyweights. Because they are being targeted politically. No. They are cases. And these cases, they have come about because of their blindness, the hatred that they have against Hakainde Hichilema. It has blinded them. It has confused them. That they don't even know what they are doing. They don't even know what they are saying. They don't realize the gravity of what they are saying and what they are doing, because they are blinded. They are gripped by this hatred. They are submerged in this hatred. And they can't see. They can't think objectively. They can't. And as a result, they are finding themselves in conflict with the law. And we are even having loss of lives because of the hatred. Hakainde Hichilema did this. Hakainde Hichilema did this to help, to try to unite the country. But they can't see it. And they just wanted, no, he must go out. Edgar Lungu dies, they don't want to bury. They don't want to bury. Up to today, tell me, why isn't Edgar Lungu buried today? Tell me one reason. They don't want HH to be in State House. They even said it clearly. The moment HH gets out of State House, we will come and bury. Is that politics? Eh? Is that politics? Is that good? Surely, is that good? Eh? Is that good? How could you have a country like that? What did HH do to Edgar Chagwa Lungu that people should hate him that much to say, we will not bury until he's out? What did HH do to Edgar Lungu? No, he denied him to go for medical attention. It is a lie. It is a lie which have been fabricated by these people, and it was not challenged. And this is a problem of not challenging some of these people. Some of these issues, when they come up, they are better challenged. When they are not challenged, they are repeated over and over. People believe them. People believe President Hakainde Hichilema was burying Edgar Lungu to go for medical attention outside Zambia, and yet he never did. People believe Edgar Lungu was denied benefits, and yet Edgar Lungu got his full benefits. He got his full benefits, and he was actually being paid what was due to him, until he himself, Edgar Lungu, he himself came out and said, I'm not interested. And this phone is letting me down. It's buffering. This guy Binwell publicly on a TV station, I don't know if I have that video, on a TV station, he clearly said, we will use everything possible, including Ichitumbi. We will do everything. We will do everything and anything, quoting his words. He said, we will do everything and anything to ensure that Hakainde Hichilema gets out of power. We will do everything and anything to remove Hakainde Hichilema out of power. He said that. From there, he said it. We are ready to die or to kill. We are ready to die or to kill. He said it. Now, some of you, maybe because you are biased, you want to take those statements lightly. But let's flip the coin. Let's flip the coin. Let's imagine what Binwell said was said by Mwali Teta. Let's imagine if one of the UPND said that. Because when you are arguing, you sometimes need to, shift the position. Look at it from the other side. So let's see. Imagine if Mwali Teta said that, or Riswaniso, the Secretary General, or Riswaniso said that. Imagine if it was Riswaniso who said, in this election, we are ready to do anything. Imagine if they are the ones, if it was one of the UPN members who said, we are ready to die or to kill. imagine you were making issues over petty statements that were made by some people. Let me not go back there, but you made petty statements. You capitalized on petty statements. You were making them big. At one point you said, no, this man has insulted the people of Luapula by simply saying that the people of Luapula farming Tesana, and he has insulted them. Now imagine if one of the UPND's members said, we are ready to die or to kill in this election. What would you have said? What would you have said? Then from there, we went into an election. But I must say that already that statement is a subject of criminal investigation. What he said, what Binwell said, is subject of criminal investigation. But let's put that one aside. Elections started. The campaign started. When the campaign started, you could see that the campaign, these people were trying to prepare people to get out. At one point, there was this Makebi Zulu. He was wearing what do you call? A bulletproof vest. He was wearing a bulletproof vest. And then he took it off and he said, Inesinio Pakufa, me, I'm not scared to die. And he was asking people, hey, what about you? Are you scared to die? And people were responding, of course, no. Are you ready to die? If we are ready to die. These videos are there. These videos are there. I watched those videos with concern. I'm like, what is this guy doing? He was wearing a bulletproof vest. He takes it out. Me, I'm not scared to die. What about you? Are you scared to die? It was an election. Why are you talking about death? Why are you telling people to prepare themselves to die? The messaging. Then came the incidences of violence. Instances of violence. We saw people changing their clothes, putting on red. Somebody's wearing, normal, and he puts on red. And we see stones are being thrown. Next, social media is flooded. No, there is violence, there is violence, there is violence. But during those incidences, during the time of violences, in those incidences, all the time we had shotguns, we had gunshots. They were gunshots. Each time there was like a violence, whatever, they were gunshots. We saw gunshots. In another incident, we even saw somebody having an assaulted rifle. And these people were part of the campaign team of Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. They were guns. It is clear that those people, they had guns. It is very clear. You cannot dispute this fact that the Mundubile camp had guns. And you can talk about the machetes and whatever other things. They had them. They had those weapons. No matter what you say, no matter which side you are, one thing that you cannot dispute is that the Mundubile camp had guns, had weapons, had assaulted rifles. You can't run away from this. Because we saw it. We saw these guns. Unless you want to pretend, you want to think that, people, we are so stupid, but the guns were there. The guns were there. You can't deny that. You can't deny that. You can say, yes, they were clashing with the UPND. You can go back, Muriba UPND, even when they were in opposition. I had never seen, at least for me, I have never seen guns with UPND. I saw them with bangers, yes. I never saw them with guns. Never. Even in this incident, this election, I saw guns to the Mundubile guys, not with the UPND. Stephen Tembo. I saw guns. I saw them. Tell me you didn't see guns. Tell me you didn't see guns in those fracases. I saw them guns. I saw the guns. Then, the issue of now, we are in during the elections. ECZ had earlier, very early, way before the elections, they had set the date on which they were going to announce the presidential winner. It was in public domain that ECZ had set a date that they were going to announce the winner on the 17th of August. They had announced that. So we knew, especially political players, because these meetings, ECZ were not just issuing statements from nowhere. They were calling political players as well as other stakeholders. And they gave us a timetable, by the way. They gave us a full timetable which went up to the day that they will announce the presidential winner, which was the 17th. We had the elections on the 13th. On the 14th, Brand Mundubile was declaring himself winner. Brand Mundubile was declaring himself winner. And this is not a secret. This is not a fabrication by me. You all saw it. And according to the law, that is illegal. That is illegal. Brand Mundubile was going to be arrested there and then. There and then, Brand Mundubile wouldn't have to finish that live broadcast. He wouldn't have had to finish. He was going to be picked before he could even finish it for declaring himself winner. And again, sometimes some of these issues to the general public, you may not realize the seriousness, the repercussion of such a statement, or the wisdom behind making such a law that no candidate should declare himself. Only ECZ should declare. You may not appreciate, but if you saw the videos of how some people behaved the moment they heard Brand Mundubile declare himself winner, you would understand, you would appreciate that it is dangerous. People started celebrating. People went into City Market. There was riot in town. There was riot in town. For real, for real. There was riot because some people started celebrating. Some people started now beating those that were perceived to be UPND supporters. They went in the market. They went in the bus stations and wanted to manhandle those that they believed were UPND on the UPND side. It happened. It happened. The moment Brand Mundubile declared himself, people went out. And confusion started. It had to be thwarted by the alert security officers. It has to be thwarted by the alert security officers. If the security officers were not alert, what happened in town would have escalated. It would have gone far and wide. Before we know it, the entire country would have been chaotic. It would have been in chaos. Zambia would have been in chaos. Because of one man being careless, before ECZ could even announce anything, he declared himself winner. That is a case. No matter, yes, no matter how much you love Brian, no matter what, is a friend, whatever, like to me, but that was wrong. And it's a case on its own. But in case you have not appreciated the confusion that erupted during that time, we can flip it. Let's flip again. Let's flip the coin. Let's ask ourselves, President Hakainde Hichilema is the incumbent. Let's imagine if it was Hakainde Hichilema who came out and declared himself winner. Yeah? Let's imagine if it is Hakainde Hichilema, because some of you are trying to, to dilute this. Okay? You're trying to dilute this. You're trying to make it lighter. You're trying to make it look like, no, it's nothing. But okay, let's imagine if Hakainde Hichilema is the one that came and declared himself winner on the 14th of August. What would have happened? What would have happened? Eh? What would you have said? What would you have said? Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. Let's be objective. Let's be objective. What Brian did was wrong. It was very dangerous. And the question is, why did he do it? That is the question. Can you answer that? Why did Brian declare himself winner few hours after elections were closed? Elections were closed on the 18th, on the 13th, 18 hours. And in some areas, by the time Brian was declaring himself, in some areas they were even voting, because we have remote areas where ballot papers, they take long to reach there. And people vote, up to the next day. In many places, they had not even finished counting. Even within Lusaka, the capital city, they had not finished. And yet, Brian is declaring himself winner. Why did he do that? Why did he do that? PVT, you are talking about PVT. How can you talk about PVT when they are still counting? In many areas at that time when Brian was declaring himself winner, they were still counting. So even if it is PVT, how can you have PVT? Because PVT is done after they have finished counting. Then they even record the results. Then if you have PVT, that is when people start transmitting to your PVT center, telling you to say, oh, here you have gotten so many votes. Here you have gotten so many votes. Here you have gotten so many votes. And then you total them up. Then you come up and say, according to our PVT, this is the results that we have. But Brian didn't even have PVT, because I know for a fact they didn't even have electro agents. They didn't have electro agents. So where did he get the PVT? Where did he get the results to indicate that he has won? Where? And this is not a simple man. This is a highly educated man. A constitutional lawyer. A constitutional lawyer for that matter. And not just a constitutional lawyer, even in maths, what is this? Brian Mpundu is an accountant. An accountant, a very strong businessman. How can he whimsically, out of the whims, come out and declare himself winner? On which basis? On what basis? On what basis? Why? On what basis did Brian Mpundu declare himself winner? To send people into the streets. And the way those people erupted, it was like they knew that this is going to be happening. Because immediately it happened, they were already in the streets. Was that just an innocent mistake? Or was it something that was already planned? I don't know. But surely it calls for an investigation. Surely it calls for an investigation. Surely it is a prima facie case. It is a prima facie case. If not, the details of whatever was going on, whatever happened, the statement itself, it is a prima facie case, because the Electoral Act clearly says no one declares himself. So if you want, you can put away, you can ignore whatever happened, but secondly, from the point of view of the law, Brian Mpundu was answerable. You can move. We can leave that. Let's talk about the Kabulonga incidents, the Kudu Road incidents. Let's talk about the Kudu Road incidents. The Kudu Road incident. Let's see, because they are saying it is like the security officers, they got drunk. The way they are talking about this, it's like the security officers got drunk and just decided to load themselves, to mobilize themselves in vehicles, prepared themselves. These drunken people, and they just drove into that house, brought down the gate, entered inside and started firing. Surely, can you be that naive? Is that how low you think of our security officers? Is that how low you think of them? That they would do such a thing? Do you believe they would do such a thing? Do you believe our security officers, from wherever they are, they just mobilize themselves? Let's go, guys, let's go. Where are we going? Mundubile's house. They go there, boom, and start shooting. Boom, 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 boom. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? In your thinking, does that make sense? And okay, if it makes sense to you, tell me, what would be the reason? What would be the reason? What would be the achievement? What would be the achievement? You think they wanted to... No, they wanted to eliminate whoever. Yeah, like you are alleging. No, they went for Mundubile. They wanted to kill Mundubile. They got Mundubile. Mundubile himself said it. They got him. He hasn't said where they took him, but they let go of him. If really they went there, if they had mobilized themselves with the intention to go and kill Mundubile, because certainly, excuse me for saying this, certainly you can't say that they went there for Mutotwe Kafwaya, no? Mutotwe Kafwaya was not a candidate. Mutotwe Kafwaya was not even so prominent. He was not even so prominent in this. So if there was any intention to eliminate somebody, the person that would have been targeted, it's the main man who had even declared himself winner. It's the main man who had even declared himself winner. Then, the question that we need to ask ourselves, because people are trying to make it like they just entered into his house. Like this man was just with his family, living his normal life and then they entered into his house. No, that is not how the facts look like. That is not how the facts look like. Because if it was just a normal house, a normal house where a family is living, what were all those people who have been arrested, what were they doing there? What were they doing there? What were those people that have been arrested, all those that have been arrested, what were they doing there? What were they doing there at that time? What were they doing there? Please, I want you to answer me. Or at least answer yourselves. Just for a moment, think of it. Those people, all those people who were arrested, what were they doing there? And the person, because the state operators, they went there at the information of a whistleblower. There was an informer who told them that we are here or they are here. What do you think this person, what prompted this person to leak the information to the state? What do you think this informer told the state agencies? What do you think he told or she told the state agencies? What prompted? Was it just a normal meeting? Were they just having a meeting discussing the campaign, discussing the election? Do you think a person would feel the urge to tip the state? If whatever they were doing there, it's fine. Like I'm saying, it's fine. They could have been there, they could have been having a meeting. But if it was just a normal meeting, do you think this person that informed the state would have informed the state if it was just a normal meeting? If it was just a normal meeting, do you think somebody would have felt the urge to inform the state? Whoever it is, somebody has written Chris Zuman is a whatever, whoever it is, do you think this person would have just lied? I don't think so. From my point of view, I don't think so. The next thing is, with the way we saw these people, wherever they went, we saw they were carrying guns. We saw them, they were carrying guns. At least we have evidence to point to that wherever they were going, they were having guns. So, in this meeting, where Brian is and these others are there, are you telling me these people did not have guns? Because these people were moving with guns in their vehicles, on their bodies. So are you telling me, would you reasonably think that at that meeting, there were no guns? Because wherever they went, they had guns. Wherever they went, they had guns. So only this time around, when they were at Kabulonga, they didn't carry guns. Does that make sense? If during the day, in the broad daylight, they are traveling, they are carrying guns, what about when they are having a strategic clandestine meeting? A strategic clandestine meeting. Do you think they would not have guns? You think there they would put their guns away? Where were their guns? Because they were always moving with them. So these people, where were their guns when they went to Kabulonga? So, in my view, following how they were moving, I can definitely say they had guns. And therefore, and you saw them, they were not hesitating to shoot. Each time they were out there, whenever there was a fracas, they came out shooting guns. Each time there was a fracas, they came out with guns. So now imagine, there is this meeting at night. There is this meeting at night. Brian Mpundu is there, and whoever is there. Then people are breaking the door, are breaking the gate. I'm sure you can imagine, you can assume the reaction. Sit for a moment, think of it. These are people, when they see stones are being thrown at them, they pull out guns, they start shooting. During the day, in a broad daylight, they see stones, they take out guns, they start shooting. Now think of a situation where it is in the night, their leader is inside, their leaders are inside, and there are these people who are outside, some of them former military officers. Think of them, think of their reaction. They see people are breaking the gate. What do you think is their reaction? I would most definitely think that they started shooting. I would most definitely think they started shooting. And for that matter, I agree with the police. I would not dispute, at least I would give the benefit of doubt to the police when the police said there was an exchange. I wouldn't doubt that. And I wouldn't doubt because I saw these people pulling out guns in broad daylight when there was no serious threat on their lives, and yet they were pulling out guns and they were shooting. So when I think of them, in the night, the gate is being broken into, they have got guns. In my view, I think they started shooting. And I believe the police to say there was fire exchange. The police have further displayed, or they haven't displayed, but they have told us the number of guns which were collected and other weapons. And they are talking about AK rifles. AK rifles, no one has got powers and be given a license to have an AK-47. In Zambia, you can't own an AK-47. You can't. You can't own an AK-47. It is against the law. The Firearms Act does not allow people to have guns like an AK-47. The question is, those guns, where did they come from? Where did they come from? Where did those guns come from? It makes me believe that these people were working with foreign interests. They were working with foreign interests. It makes me believe, because we even have some who went as far as Russia for training. And this is not something that I'm fabricating again. This is something that came from themselves. From themselves. They are the ones that brought out this news. We sent people to go and train. And these people, when they went to go and train, again, they were informers amongst themselves. They leaked information to the state, such that by the time they were coming, they simply rounded them up. They simply rounded them up. And some of you say, no, but they were just there to protect a brand. They were supposed to be bodyguards. Again, you must know that if you are going to train people in some military security issues, military kind of, you need to inform the state. You need to inform the state. Even me, if I want to engage some bodyguards and I want them to train into some military whatever, I have to inform the state. I have to inform the state. Especially, no, they went outside. Even if they went outside, if they were going to come here and work here, you need to inform the state. Even security companies, they need to be registered. Even security companies need to be registered. They need to be registered. You can't just come up and say, no, this is a security whatever. No. They need to be registered. So these people, they went, they didn't tell us when they were going. Like Binwell was saying, that no, there was no secret. They went through the airport. Of course they went through the airport. They can't, they don't have their own planes, whatever. They had to go through that. But the issue is that military training or whatever training they were undergoing, who is able to explain to us? Who is able to explain to us? Who is able to explain to us? Who is able to give us the details of the kind of training that they went to have out there? What about a few foreigners that have been arrested? And these guns, where did they come from? Then with all these things, marry it to the statement of we are ready to die, we are ready to kill. My brothers and sisters, if we consider all these facts, not fabrications, facts. If you consider all these things, is it reasonable for you to start pointing at Hakainde Hichilema to say, Hakainde Hichilema is targeting his opponents? And when all these things were happening, where was Hakainde Hichilema? Hakainde Hichilema was busy campaigning. Hakainde Hichilema was busy monitoring his own, he had his own anxieties about the elections results. How does Hakainde Hichilema come in? How does Hakainde Hichilema come in? And this is what I told you the other day, that when it comes to matters of national security, he's the commander-in-chief. But when it comes to national security, where there is a threat, the people who are trained are the ones that take charge. They are the ones that take charge. They are the ones that advise him to say, Bwana, you have to go under this tunnel. You have to whatever. They don't call Hakainde Hichilema to say, they are shooting. Commander-in-Chief, what should we do? Should we shoot back? No. When there is a threat, even in this house, if there is a threat, the moment I call Bakapogola, they don't first call Hakainde Hichilema. Oh, you are Commander-in-Chief. Tayali has told us that there is a problem at his house. Should we go? It doesn't happen that way. They are trained to protect the state. They are trained to protect lives. And they do it immediately. They don't blink when there is a threat. They don't blink. They blink after. Listen to me good. They don't blink. They blink after. They blink after. In a spur of a moment, they need to act. They need to act. When you take out a gun against the law enforcers, they don't have to ask Hakainde Hichilema to say, hello, hey, Commander-in-Chief, Tayali has put out a gun here. Now, what do we do? No. They will act. They will act. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. At that moment, the state operatives, they act. They act. They act. They act. And in Kabulonga, surely, there are many questions that need to be answered. And this is why, from the time that a result started coming in and Hakainde Hichilema was leading, I've been pleading with Brian to say, Brian, humble yourself. I was not saying that for anything. It is for the love that I have for Brian. Because I could see where this is going. And even now, where we are today, things are not okay. Things are not okay for those guys. They are not. Truth be told, they are not. You can lie as much as you want. You can say as much as you want. You can try to corrupt people emotionally, here and there, whatever. You can do all that. Believe me, there is something that they need to answer to here. There's something that you need to answer to. For the statements, for the actions, the guns that they were pulling out, if it is not to shoot at the law enforcers, at least they would have to explain where those guns came from. They would have to explain where those guns came from. About these people that they sent out to train, they have to explain what kind of training they went to do. They have to explain what was the meeting about that night at Kudu. What was the meeting about? What were they discussing? They have to explain who shot at the security personnel, who caused the exchange of fire. Surely, there is something that needs to be investigated here. There is something that needs to be investigated here. You cannot bundle all this and just accuse the state to say, no, the state is cracking down, is cracking down, is cracking down. No, guys, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. And I'm seeing certain statements coming from certain interest groups. I'm seeing some of the statements that have started coming. The problem is there is so much bias. There is so much bias. Even institutions that are supposed to be objective, that are supposed to be fair, that are supposed to speak in the interest of justice, they are biased. Even church leaders. Even church leaders. They are not helping this country. They have got their own hatred against the leadership of this country. But surely, as much as you are being biased in this manner, you have to know that when this country disintegrates into chaos, it's not only a few that will suffer. Even you'll be affected. Even you'll be affected. And in certain instances, you just don't know how you'll be affected. You can't tell. You can't tell. You really can't tell. Sometimes it is not the person that is obviously exposed that suffers. Sometimes it's the person that is sitting innocently away from somebody that is targeted. So this violence, this bias that you have, you might be sorry yourselves. You might be sorry yourselves. Let's be objective. I'm not on the side of government. I'm not speaking for Hakainde Hichilema. I've just walked through the facts as they are. Facts as they are. In case I've left out something, you can call me now. You know the number that we use. You know the number that we use? You can call me on WhatsApp. Yeah, it's really sad. It's sad. It's sad, and I'm disturbed by some of the things that I'm seeing on social media. JJ, the things that JJ is saying about President Hakainde Hichilema, honestly, can normal people sit and watch a guy talking like that? And you think it is okay? Even if you don't like Hakainde Hichilema, is it okay for you to sit and watch a guy? Because that guy, for him to continue talking the way he's talking, is boosted by you people. Is boosted by you people. You are the people that encourage him to talk like that. It excites you. Emmanuel Mamba is my brother. But I'm dismayed. I'm dismayed by the narrative he's running. No. These people, honestly, these people don't mean well. It is saddening, really. It is saddening. They don't mean well. It's like they want to destroy the country for them to come and build it. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good. Mr. Chinyama calling you.
Yes, Mr. Chinyama, go ahead.
Oh, yes. I've followed you nicely, Mr. Tayali.
Yeah.
What you are saying is true. But I have a problem which I'm seeing.
Yes.
Especially to us Zambians. What I've seen is we are having a lot of emotions and hatred. And then the third thing is people, we don't know about our laws. Why am I saying this? We are mixing politics and security of our nation. When we mix these two things and we think we are well, yet we are not. Men and uniform in our republic, they are the only people who are mandated by the law to train anyone I can give a good example, especially our friends, those who have security firms like guards and whatever. All those people, they know themselves. They are registered, and even our security, they know how to handle them in case of any problems. That's why they work nearly every minute, every second with the police in case of anything.
Yes.
But people, just to say, we have a firm which is trained by outside, not again outside, maybe by individuals, no. Another state. That's a threat already. And even I saw Binwell coming out and saying proudly